So in this session, we are going to discuss about some operations of non-linear data structures like a traversal, insert, delete, search, sort, and all these things. What are all the algorithms we have? How to represent these algorithms with representations with given examples, and all these things we are going to learn in this special session, dear students. So if I come into the first algorithm based on the non-linear data structure, that is traversal. The operation is traversal. As I said the definition, traversal means each and every element we have to reach minimum once. Accessing, that is minimum once of all the element, that is what we called as traversal. And the algorithm is like this. As I said earlier, the algorithm means the step-by-step solving of the problem. This is what we called as algorithm. So based on that, step number 1. So here, before going to the algorithm, just observe this, what all the contents are there. Here I will be the elements of the array and n minus 1, because there is an array 0 based indexed number. Last number should be, if it is an n, that location that should be represented with the head of n minus 1. So this is what we called as representations of the arrays. So the numbers are so representing. So for I, for is the condition, step 1, for I equals 0 to n minus 1. That means what all the elements are in this particular content, we are selecting almost all the elements. For example, before explaining that algorithm, assume these are all the 5 elements: A, B, C, D and E. So these are all the 5 elements are there. According to the definition of the traversal, we have to reach all the elements at least once. See, so this is what we called as traversal. How many numbers of the elements are there? At least we have to reach once. All the elements we have to access minimum once. So this is what we called as the definition of traversal. So according to the definition, if 0, A of I is equals to 0 to n minus 1, all the elements are accessed, then that input of A of I should be declared. That is, the one number is accessed, that means. So that is, and we are using a for condition to check the loops. That's why end of the for, if the for loop is ended, the step number 3, we have to stop the algorithm. So in the previous year you learned how to start and how to close or stop the algorithm. With the step numbers we are explained. The step number 1 should be inputs, step number 1, step number last n, that should be at the stop of the algorithm. Must and should we have to show where is the algorithm will be start and where will be the algorithm will be stop. So by step number 3, particularly this algorithm is enclosing with the word that is stop. See, once again I am explaining. For I is equals to 0, whatever the location, to n minus 1, all the elements we are accessing. Input A of I, if all the elements are accessing, if it is a 0, if it is all the elements, if it is the total number of elements are n, then the last number should be n minus 1. All the elements are accessed, then one element is initialized, A of I. Then end of the for and stop. Very small and very easiest algorithm, traversal. After this traversal, we are going for one more algorithm, that is what we called as insert of an element to the particular data structure. So after traversal, one more algorithm, that is insertion of a new element to the existing data structure. So insert, algorithm for insert. See dear students, they may ask individually for 5 marks, the algorithm sometimes they ask. That's why very easy, remember the steps. I am going to explain that. So in this algorithm, for I, step number 1, for I is equals to n minus 1 down to p. What do you mean by down to p? Whenever, see, if it is a one existing array, for reference I am showing here, 10, 20, 30 and 40, 50. These are all the 5 elements array we have. For this existing array, if I want to add one more new element, see here, if it is after 20, I want to add one more new element to here. So this array will become 10, 20, 25, 30 40 and 50. So added new element is this one. The inserted new element is 25. Before inserting element, check the number of the elements. See here, 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 4 means that should be 5 elements. Like that, after inserting, you check it, sir. The number of the elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 to 5 means that must be 6 elements. So, according to this algorithm, now we are added one new element to the existing array. That is what we called as added element, that is 25. So, that should be in the location of the 2. So, this will be the new element. See here, with the reference of that array, now I am going to explain the algorithm. For I is equals to n minus 1, initializing I is equals to n minus 1, total number of the elements down to p. What are the positions? Positions down to p, and if it is a of I plus 1 is equals to a of I plus 1 means incrementing by 1. Incrementing, for example, a of 0, the element is 10. A of 0 plus 1, that is location 20 will be. A of 1 plus 1, that means 2, that is 25. A of 2 plus 1, 3, 30. A of 3 plus 1, 4, 40. A of 4 plus 1, 5, 50. Like that, one number should be incremented. So that is the meaning. Then that number should be initialized. Then here closing the condition, that is for, and a of p is equals to element. Which element you are added? For example, for this array, the added element is 25 and its location is a of 2. See here, the added new element is 25 and its location is a of 2. So this is the position of that particular 25. See here, a of p means a of p position 2, element is 25. Then n is equals to n plus 1. See here, before inserting of an array, the total number of the elements in this previous array, that is 5. After added one new element, that is what we call as 6 elements are there. So this indicates one new element is inserted. According to that one, n is equals to n plus 1 will be the formula. That means one new element is added. Then step 5 we have to conclude the algorithm. So this is the insertion of a new element to the existing data structure. Then after that, the same operation, instead of insert, now we are going for delete. Before going to the algorithm, now I will write one more array, that is a array containing the 5 elements, same elements what I wrote for the previous algorithm. See here, 40 and the 50. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. A of 5 initializer. So according to this example, now if I want to delete one element from the existing data structure. So if I want to delete, assume, now I want to delete the element that is a 30. What should be, what we have to do? See, a of 10 should be a same place and same location. A of 20 will be a same place and same location. Instead of 30, if I delete the element 30, the 40 will be replaced with the place to the 30. So A of 0, 1, 2 will be the 40 and the last element should be 50. Then the locations are 0, 1, 2 and 3. So before deleting the element, that array contains the 5 elements. After deleting the array, that array is containing the 4 elements. Here the deleted element is 30 and its location is A of 2. That element is 30. But in the place of A of 2, the 30 is replaced with the next element 40. So that is what we call as 40 and 50. It takes the place to the 30 and it will come to the array. Answer. So this is the pictorial example for the deleting of an algorithm. If I come to the exact algorithm, see here. For the step 1, we have to select first which element you want to delete. Now I am selecting 30 should be a deleting element and its position is A of 2. Then for condition, for I is equals to p to n minus 1, that location that must be within the n minus 1. That means within that location only you have a chance to delete. 0 to n minus 1 only you have a chance to delete the one element. Either you select 0 or 4 or a n minus 1 if it is number of elements are more. So that should be a condition. And which element you are going to delete? See, a of I is equals to a of I plus 1. Why? In your mind you may get one question. Why? When we are deleting, I is equals to I plus 1. See here, in the place of I, if the element is deleted, the next element is coming and inserting that to the particular place. That should be a of I is equals to I plus 1. Which element? The 40 will be replaced with the 30. And end of the for, here we are using the for condition, that must be ended. And according to number of the elements are decreased, n is equals to n minus 1. See, a of 5 will be the total number of the element, n is equals to 5. After deleting, that 5 is equals to 5 minus 1. That means the total number of elements after deleting, that must be 4. So this will be the best example for the deleting of an algorithm. So after the insert and deleting of the algorithm, next we are going to one more algorithm, that is for searching. So in the searching algorithm, we have two again categories are there. In a searching, first category is linear searching, second one is binary searching. According to the definition of the linear searching, in this method the searching elements will take place sequentially. Sequentially means one after another. One after another, if elements are going to search, that technique is what we call as linear searching. And the second one is in the binary searching. Searching method takes place by dividing that elements into the two groups. So that is what we call as binary search. Linear search and binary search. We have the two major categories. According to types of the searching, first we have to go for the linear searching. Sequentially how the element should be searched. So this should be the next algorithm. So in the linear searching, if I want to search an element one after another, first we have to select the number from which element we are going to start. So if I selecting the first element, search that element with the first element, and if the element is not found, going for the next element one after another. So this is the procedure of the linear search technique. One paper example I will show you. So same array 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 are the 5 elements in a one array. If I want to search an element, for example 40 will be the searching element. So what should we have to follow the rules in the linear search method? First we have to search the element by a of the first element, that should be 0. If the searching element is 40, then the element of the first element in the particular array, that is a 10, that should be wrong. After 10 we are going to the next one more position, that is 20. 40 is equals to 20. No, then that time also that should be a minus 1 the location, because the searching element will be not found. And also next we are coming to the 30. Here also the searching element will be not found. When we are coming to the location 1, 2, 3, yes, searching element is 40 and the located element is also containing a 40. Then the answer of the particular element a of 3, that is equals to 40. Then this should be the answer. A searching element of 40 will be found at the location a of 3. So this is what we call as linear searching technique. So we have to explain this example through the algorithm. It's just assume here for location is equals to minus 1, because when we are 40, when we are checking through the serially, now we don't know, because we know the machine, we don't know where is the 40, when which location that 40 will be found. That's why always unknown conditions, unknown location should be always minus 1. That's why location is equals to minus 1. Step 2, for I is equals to 0 to n minus 1. What the element you are going to search, that should be within the n minus 1, 0 to n minus 1, 0 to n minus 1. All the location should be within the array. That means, then if the element, which element you are going to search, for example 40 is equals to a of I. If this searching element is located in the first element itself, then no need to go for the next step. Directly you are coming to the location is equals to 3. Directly you are coming to the step number 5. If the element, print the element found at the location, which is the element you got, the 40 element will be found at the A of 3. Then the result is closed. But when you when you not know the location of the particular element, that time you have to check one condition through the algorithm. Check the step number 5. If location greater than or equal to 0, which element you got in the searching technique. For example, 40 will be found at the location that is 3. Then this location should be greater than 0. See, if this location greater than or equal to 0, if it is equal to 0 also okay, or greater than or equal to 0 also okay, then that indicates yes, that location, that element is found in your particular list. So this is what we call as, if this location A of 3 greater than or equal to 0, if this condition is true. Step number 6, print element found at what is the location. Or if you are not getting, for example, a searching element, assume in this particular element there is a 70 will be not found. Searching element must be 70, and which element you are going to search? The 70. If the element is not in your list, that indicates print element not found. Then stop will be the final step. So this is what we called as linear searching. Once again I will repeat. Whenever unknowing the location -1, condition that location should be 0 to n minus 1. If searching element is equals to A of I, if you are getting that element, if you are searching element A of I is 40 is equals to A of 3, searching location, that location you have to mention A of 3 is equals to 40, and if that searching element location should be greater than or equal to 0, if it is more than 0, we have to go for one more checking condition. If that condition is true, searching element found at which location you have to mention. Otherwise, the element should be not found in your list. So this is what we called as linear searching. Then after this, we are going for one more searching technique, that is binary search. So in binary search, the step number 1, we are showing the location is equals to 1, I is equals to 0, n is equals to n minus 1, lower bound and upper bound. What are all the inputs we are given to this algorithm? These are all the contents we are given. In the step number 2, while that 1 is lesser than or equal to n, that means that what the element you are given to the first element, that should be lesser than to the last number n. That indicates all the elements in the binary search are in ascending order. So if this it is in order, yes, now I have a formula to find the mid element. M is equals to LB plus UB divided by 2. What is LB and what is UB divided by 2? I will show you with an example. See, this is an example to show the binary search how to find the mid element. See, total number of the elements that are 5. Here I am selecting the lower bound element. LB is equals to 10. This should be the LB. And 50 will be the UB, upper bound. Then how to find the mid element? Yes, the same formula. M is equals to LB plus UB divided by 2. So LB means 10, UB means 50 divided by 2. So 10 plus 50, 60 divided by 2. Then the mid element should be 30. See here, the mid element is 30. Yes, now I got one mid element, that is A of M is equals to 30. 30 will be found at the location 0, 1, 2. So 2 will be the location of the mid element. So this is a process. M is equals to LB plus UB divided by 2. Here one more condition is there. If A of M is double equals to element, A of M double equals to element means which element you are going to search. If that element is in the mid element, then the searching element is only a mid element. That is the meaning. For if A of M is double is equals to element means, for example, now you are going to search 30. Now you are going to search an element that is 30. 30 will be A of M. Means you got a mid element. in searching element is also a 30, you got a mid element is also a 30, then no need to continue this algorithm. Directly you will write, go to the step number 9, that is step number 9, print the element found at the location A of 2 or A of 3, or otherwise that is print not found. We'll go for the next process. I think you're getting how to trace the algorithm with an example. If the searching element is its mid element, then no need to continue all these steps. Directly you are coming to step number 10. If the location of that particular mid element, location is A of m 30 will be found at the 2. If 2 is greater than or equal to 0, just print found at the location. What should be the location? 2 will be the answer. But if your element is not a mid element, then what is an algorithm? So this is what, that is step number 5 and 6. See here. If it is mid element, you are directly writing the location m, then step number 5 will be over. Coming to the step number 6. If element greater than A of m, that means which element you are going to search, that element is greater than A of m. A of m means mid element. If that particular element is greater than mid element, LP is equals to m plus 1. LP is equals to m plus 1. If your searching element is, check this. If your searching element is 40, assume 40, because this is element greater than A of m. 40 greater than A of m. M means 30. 40 greater than 30. That means LP is equals to m plus 1. M plus 1 means this should be an m mid element. M plus 1 means next element. M plus 1 means 40. M plus 1 means 40. Then if the searching element found 40 is equals to 40. If the searching element is a 40, yes, if you are getting that next element m plus 1 element is also a 40, then your searching will be over. Otherwise, if your searching element is lesser than mid element, that condition also there. See here. If it is greater than mid element, LP is equals to m plus 1. Else, UB is equals to minus 1. Upper bound is equals to minus 1. If that searching element is lesser than mid element, now the searching element is 10, assume. Like that, then 10 that is lesser than 30. That time for UB is equals to m minus 1. M minus 1 means mid element minus 1. Yes, the next searching element is 20. 20 is equals to 10. No, not equal. Not found that location. Then after m minus 1, m minus 2, that is 10. 10 is equals to 10. Searching element will be found at the location 0. So this will be the binary search. See here. UB is equals to m minus 1. After if condition, both if conditions I am closing and one while condition I am closing, coming to the step number 9, final step of this algorithm. By all these steps, either the searching element is mid, this should be a process. If the searching element is greater than mid element, that should be UB is equals to m plus 1. If the searching element is lesser than mid element, that is UB is equals to m minus 1. Then by all these three conditions, you get one answer. That is what we called as searching element found at some location. That location must be greater than to 0. What this indicates? It indicates what you are searching an element that is inside the array, that is greater than 0 to n, lesser than n minus 1, that is inside the array. If it is inside the array, yes, print the element found at location. If which element found at which location, that you should mention. Otherwise, if your element is not found, that indicates that is not greater than or equal to 0, that is more than n minus 1 or not lesser than the 0, that means that that element is not in the list. So that case we are showing print element not found, that is Step number 9. Stop the process. So this is what we called as binary search. Just write one example, trace this algorithm both, then very easy to analyze the algorithm for the binary search. Very easiest algorithm, but looks like a big algorithm. So many times for your examination they ask for 5 marks, binary search. So this is what we called as binary search. So after the operations of the linear data structure, we are coming to the one more last topic in the arrays, that is two-dimensional array. So as I said, the definition, that is, if the total number of subscripts are 2, then that should be a two-dimensional array. The two subscripts are, one is row size and second one is column size. So this should be the definition of the two-dimensional array. And the syntax of the two-dimensional array, that is, syntax of the two-dimensional array, data type, array name, row size, and column size. So this should be the syntax of the two-dimensional array. So if I want to explain this two-dimensional array with one example means, see, data type, considering it, data type is an integer, array name is A, row size, for example, row size is 3 and column size is also 3. So if I want to write 3 rows and 3 columns, see here, assume one matrix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It should be a one matrix. So according to the 3 cross 3 matrix, 3 rows and 3 columns are there. So according to this two-dimensional array, now we have two major methods, that is row measure and column measure method. To explain the row measure and column measure, now I want to explain this matrix with its location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, second row, 7, 8, 9 will be the one matrix. So according to this matrix, now I wrote just its location, A of 0, right? A of 1 and A of 2. Then, like that for the columns names also, A of 0, A of 1 and A of 2. See dear students, before going the row measure and the column measure, first I am concluding, here I am considering one matrix that is in the order, that is 3 rows and 3 column orders. So if I want to explain the row measure, see, first what are the rows and its locations are there? According to the formula, in your text they given one formula, based on that formula, now I am considering that row measure elements like this. See, the first row should contain 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 row. Okay, so check this address how I wrote. A of 0, row element A of 0, column element A of 0, that should be 1. Then the next element in that same row, that is same row, that's why A of 0. Then column is changing, A of 1, that is equals to 2. Like that 3, A of 0, same row, 0 and the column is 2, that is why 3. Like that, now I want to write the 4. The 4 is in a second row, that's why the row address is A of 1, column for the 1, that is 0, that is 4. Next 5, A of same row 1 and 1, that should be 5. A of 1, column 2, that is 6. Then if I come into the third row, that is A of 2, column 0, that is 7. Like that A of 2, 1, that is 8. Last one, A of 2, 2, that is 9. This is what we call as a row major by with one example. Like that we have a chance to write the same matrix by the column major. That time, column major, you have to write all the first column elements first. Second column next. Last column, that must be last priority. Coming to the column major. Column major. See here. This will be the first element for the column major also. So the location is A of 0. 0. That means 1. Then the next column element, that should be 4. Then what's its address? That is A of 1. See, check first you have to write the row sign. 1 and the column is same 0, that is 4. Like that A of 2 and 0, that is 7. Like that, this will be the first column. Second column 2, row size is 0 only. A of 0, column is 1, that is 2. A of 1, column is 1, that is 5. A of 2, column is 1, that is 8. Like that, the third column, A of 0, 2, that is 3. A of 1, 2, that is 6. And A of 2, column is also 2, then that is 9. See, row major and the column major. Total number of elements are same, but this order is different. So this is what we called as row major and column major. Both elements are in the same matrix, but when we are representing in the two-dimensional way, this should be in a row major. All the three first row elements are displayed, and the column major here, all the first three columns are displayed here. So this should be a two-dimensional row major and the column major. For your examination, they may ask individually or combining both. But for this topic, you have to write formulas also, and along this example, if you explain that one means that's more than enough. So by winding up this session, this should be the nonlinear data structures, operations and arrays. So in the next class, we are going to discuss about that is a stack and queue, linked list and other data structures. So in that particular data structures, again the same operations, advantages, applications, and how to write algorithms for that operations, and all these things we are going to discuss. At last, we are going to discuss about the nonlinear data structures and its operations. Thank you.